So, in episode 173 of Confidence Coaching with Heidi Benjaminsen, I talk with you about really slowing down to inquire, what am I thinking right now? Do I like how I'm acting? Do I like how I just reacted? Why did I act that way? What am I feeling? Is that feeling really how I want to be feeling in this situation? Really learning to kind of question what's going on in our body. This slowing down actually make things so much faster. It makes change happen so much faster down the long run because we've taken the time to examine one situation and to really look at exactly what was I thinking there? Do I want to keep on thinking that? Remember, the first thought and the first feelings that we have, they don't have to stay. It's more how we react to that. Do we keep them around? And so in this episode, I give you so many examples of ways that I was able to kind of slow down and then really with intention choose how I wanted to respond in a situation. I wanted to give you a couple more examples. Many years ago, I was learning how to speak Portuguese. I was going to serve a mission for my church. So when learning another language, we would write down things that we would say in English, and then we would translate it into Portuguese was the language at that time. And there were things that I was writing down that I had heard my whole life and things I had said my whole life. But while I was looking at each individual word to translate it, I realized I don't understand. I don't really believe and really know what each of these words really means. And I realized at that time, I want to really, really believe and know what I'm saying. And that there were things I could understand. Well, I know this meaning, but I'm going to say it in a much clearer way that really resonates with me and is in integrity with really what I do believe and what I am feeling. And I realized at that moment, I'm only going to say things that maybe I've heard other things from other people, but I want to say things that really mean something to me. And I came across all that by really, really slowing down and looking at every single word. Now, another question. What does all of this mean? We hear all of these phrases in different places. One of them is like, money's the root of all evil. And every time I hear that, and I heard it a lot growing up, I then question, do you really believe that? Like, do you believe money? Do you tell your boss that when you want a raise? When you go in for your annual review, are you thinking, now, if you are thinking this, it's good to then kind of recognize this is probably bringing much lack into my life. This is probably why I live in scarcity, because I have this belief that maybe I'm not even sure where it came from. So again, it's good to just sit and really question and think about, like, do I really mean and believe all of these things that maybe I've heard other people say and then I repeat? Again, it's just this slowing down. And what's awesome is we can keep whatever we do believe, but then we just mean it with more intention. I love with my kids too. Maybe in my mind, I'll think, oh my goodness, they always leave this on the floor, whatever it is. And it's good to just stop, slow down, and say, is that really true? Do they always leave that in that one place? Are they always doing this? Like, really, really, is that really true? And another way to look at that is to be like, what's the lie in that situation? What's the lie that my brain is kind of giving me? And all of this just gives us such awareness. It gives us control, because what we really want is more control over our lives. We want control over our lane, as I talk about. We want to be in control of how we show up. We want to show up with intention. And we just always want to be, not that we're questioning ourselves about every little thing, but when something feels out of line in our body, we know it. We know when we're saying or acting in a way that just maybe isn't who we want to be in that moment. That's when we want to stop and do a lot of the inquiry. And I promise you, it can totally change your life. If you would like help with this, you can sign up for a consult call on my website, HeidiBenjaminsen.com. Make sure you listen to episode 173, Confidence Coaching.